I'll tell you a story. When I played chess, I would always go to these tournaments. And I would always cheer for everybody. And every time someone got a trophy, I would always, be happy for them. I was everyone's biggest cheerleader. And because of that, when they called my name, everyone was just so loud and so happy. And it's the person I was. And now that I'm older, I start to realize that it wasn't because I was a good person. It was more because I had good things in my life. And that the people who have issues, it's not because they're bad people. It's not the stuff, and I think I was naive at the time because I used to think that all these people with all these problems were just not good people. But I don't believe that anymore because it's naive. It's a lot of the people who say and do bad things, it's because they have problems with their life. And that's not the case with everybody, but at the same time, not everyone who smokes dies from it. Not everyone who smokes gets lung cancer. It happens a lot. And certainly you're not just gonna smoke. But it's kind of like that. It's like, yeah, it doesn't guarantee that, you'll wind up doing those things. But like, you shouldn't be surprised. And you should know what the cause was because it's pretty obvious what caused this. You can't say it for sure because you don't know. You could be wrong. But it's a pretty safe bet to say you got lung cancer and you smoked for 20 years. You probably got it from smoking. You might not have, but you probably did. That's fair. And it's interesting. Because there's always exceptions, but when you look at things on average, that's just how it works. People who have better lives tend to be nicer people. And it's one of those things that's like kind of duh, right? But a lot of people think it's like, oh, well, you're so, spoiled and everything's great for you. Aren't you going to be mean to people? And people in private school are like super nice. I'm not saying that. Like, legitimately, we're like really nice. It was like really cool. But it's interesting. But anyway, I got to high school and I actually really enjoyed high school for the 6 months that I was there. I enjoyed it. I liked having, classes. It was this, you had the schedule, and the same with middle school where you had the bell and you had like 6 different teachers that day. I don't know why. I liked it. I mean, something about hearing the same person over and over, like that's all fine and all. But I don't know. It's kind of variety. It shaked things up. It was cool. The only thing that I didn't necessarily like as much is it was harder to, like, I feel like the more older you get and the more you're in school, I mentioned this earlier, it's harder to make friends because in elementary school, you're with the same people all day. It's kind of like much easier, especially when you're young and it's like you're with those same people over and over. You're bound to at least have some kind of relationship with pretty much everyone in the classroom. But now it's just like you have to, do that on your own. No one's going to give you a helping hand. If you're not going to talk to people, no one's going to be your friend. People are just not going to talk to you. And I was just kind of shy and I don't know. I wasn't terribly unsocial, I think. I was just the kind of person, it's like, I talked to people and people who knew who I was in the classroom, but I never really talked to people outside the classroom. Like I said, I had those friends from other schools that I was talking to. I don't know. And everyone already had their own friend group. But besides that, I had a lot of fun. I had electives for the first time ever. And I was like, electives, yay, I get to actually choose what I want to do, kind of. That was fun. And the campus was super nice too. Now I just realized I'm talking a lot about my school, but I'm not talking about my depression. I guess because it's like personal stuff, but Yeah, from fifth and sixth grade up until like the ninth grade, I had these horrible feelings of depression. It's like the weirdest thing, because if you would have asked me when I was 14, I would have said if I could die painlessly. At 14 years old, I would have said yes. And that terrifies me. And it's funny because I would literally go to the school computers, and I'm ashamed of doing this, but I would purposefully type in like stuff that I was depressed. I would purposely do this to see if anyone was, because there were like these rumors that people were watching the school. Oh wait, I forgot to tell her. My school, one of my schools gave everyone laptops for free, but we had to turn them in at the end of the year. And there was like these rumors around the school, these rumors that people were watching and that, you know, they were they were always monitoring everything everyone did. So my thing I wanted to do was I kind of wanted to low-key check to see if that was true, but I also was depressed. I wanted to see if they talked to me, so I kind of just like typed stuff that was like, if a person saw it, they'd be like, this person needs help, we'll talk to them. I never got a response from anybody. I think I told the teachers one day that I was going to lay down in front of cars and people were going to run me over, and they were pretty concerned about that, and they didn't let me leave until my parents came. And yeah, sounding that out loud, that was not pleasant. I had a lot of, why was I so depressed? Why was I so depressed? I don't know. I still don't know. I was really depressed. They wanted to put me in a mental hospital when I was like, I want to say 11. They put me on all these drugs. And by the way, the reason I was 230 pounds is because one of these drugs, the side effect was gaining weight and gaining a ton of weight. I was always like healthy weight, and that's why I lost the weight, funnily enough, because I never really had weight problems. But being on that medication made me gain a ton of weight. And eventually that's the reason why my mom made me stop. And it took me a while to lose the weight, but I was like losing it consistently because I started to lose that appetite that the medicine gave me, and I was able to like eat normal meals. So it is frustrating, but those pills didn't help me. I wasn't feeling better. And it's just like, what do I do? The thing with me is like, when I'm in a situation where I have constant, stable friendships, I'm fine. I don't have issues. And I know this because every time in my life where I have constant, stable relationships, I'm like perfectly normal. And that's why I don't think I have any mental illnesses, despite all this speculation. My life has just been a shit show these past 4 years, these past 5 years. And because of that, I may display a lot of the symptoms that a lot of people who have these kind of disorders may have. Like I said, when you don't socialize with anyone for 4.5 years, I think that turns anyone into like, you know, an antisocial kind of person. Imagine being stuck in your room for 4.5 years, not talking to anybody besides your parents, who you kick out because you're on social media and you want to talk to those people. And it was not a healthy time for me. But like, the goal for me is to find friendships, is to get myself into a situation where I have stable friendships and I won't say something stupid because I'm looking for attention, and I'll just be able to like keep the friendships and, you know, just like normal. And you know, it's funny, a lot of people ask me, why do you want to be famous so much? I don't have a clear answer for that. I don't have, but it's this feeling, one of the reasons is because when you're famous, everyone wants to talk to you. When you're famous, people think you're cool. And so my thing is, if I'm this famous person, people are going to want to talk to me. If I'm this famous person, I'll never have to worry about being alone again. Does that make sense? I know it sounds like very deep philosophical stuff, but that's really what it is. I'll just be this person that everyone want to be around. I won't have to try so hard to gain friendships. I won't have to put myself out there. I won't have to be so nervous. People will come up to me and talk, and I'll be able, I don't know, that's really what it is. It's like a basic thing. And also, it's funny, I was looking at a post from like 2015 where someone called me an attention seeker. And at the time I responded to them saying, I'm not an attention seeker. I think I said at the time, is like, I would like positive attention, but I'm not an attention seeker. Like, because at the time I would post all these blogs, and I was like 14, 15 at the time. And I would say like kindness. I would talk all about being nice to people. It's literally all I did. And I was going through some of my own problems, but I wanted to spread positivity. The problem was I spread all this positivity and everyone hated me. I don't know why. At the time, I did nothing wrong. I said nothing controversial. I literally was just about promoting kindness. Everyone thought it was fake. It's like, there's no way you have this kind, innocent girl on the internet. This can't be real. We've got to find out something's... They called me a 40-year-old man. They had all these weird things about me. And I don't even want to go into the full situation. But that whole experience with these people having all these assumptions about me, it messed with me. I was like 14, 15, 16 when all this happened. I had people tell me, and I say this in a video that I recorded that I haven't released yet, but I had people literally tell me that I would be more popular if I sexualized myself. And I was like 15 at the time. I might have been 16, but still. I'm just like, you don't say that. It's just like, I'm not gonna talk. That's a story for another time. But my mind was in such a bad place. And it was just not good. And I used to be super kind to people. I used to be that person who, no matter what, would show kindness and support. But then my life, I guess I got hurt, too many times. And I started to just not be that anymore because I didn't see the value in being nice to people. And no one's gonna believe me, but I guess maybe another reason is because deep down inside, I'm still that person. It's just, I don't display that part of myself because for years on these sites online, and for years in those schools, in those public schools, me being nice to people was a detriment. I was in these situations where me being nice led to me being taken advantage of. It was these situations where you had these kids who weren't as sheltered as me, and they weren't afraid to say or do things that I never would have imagined and that I had no idea that these kids were capable of. And because of, experiences like that, it shaped me into being a different person. And I guess in a sense, in a person that's more aware of the real world and not in a bubble like I used to be. Because I lived in a bubble. I didn't know what the real world was like. It was a very, like I said, an idealistic world. A world where everything was good, but a world where, a lot of the real struggles were hiding out of sight. I just didn't see them. I put on this, persona of these terrible things. And I regret doing it because it didn't work. I mean, people still hated me. But people didn't think I was fake anymore. So, like, I don't know. It's weird. Some people still thought I was fake. I don't even know. This whole thing is a mess. But basically, I had to defend myself. And that explains a lot of the behavior that you see, a lot of the really disgusting tweets that I've made. And it's funny because when I say this, there's this guy in Innuendo Studios, like the alt-right playbook or something. I don't agree with a lot of the videos. I think they're pretty biased. But there's one thing he says, and I think this is not alt-right. This is more of just trolling. Or I think it might be some different guy. All I know is I saw some video on YouTube where they talk about someone trolling, and they mention how the people trolling don't believe, or sorry, they don't know if they believe what they say at the time. Or I don't know, something like that. But like, I whatever he said, that resonated with me. It was that I didn't really believe what I said at the time, but I also didn't know what I believed. And I was just kind of saying things for the attention, but I also kind of thought, I was like, okay, maybe I believe this, maybe I don't. Like when I said those awful tweets, like there was a point where I'm like, I guess I kind of believe that, but if you were to come up to me and ask me like legitimately what I thought, I would have been like, yeah, no, that's crazy. Of course I don't believe that. But I'd say that on Twitter because it's just like, I got featured on an account with 70,000 followers, okay? Those accounts got like 1,000 likes. And I was just like, whoa, that's a lot of attention. I like that. Let me post more of this controversial. I don't know, it's so bad. Because on Twitter, you learn that being controversial gets you attention. I don't know. So this is just a comprehensive history. Why I'm depressed. My story. I don't even know what I'm gonna call this video. I might just call it my story or something. I'll figure that out later. But that leads me to today. And now I don't know what my life is gonna be. It's a mystery. I could like be a better person, or I could be sad. I could fulfill the expectations that people had for me from a young age, that I was going to do something very successful. Because all these people were like, I'm literally, I had an IQ test when I was 3 and I'm apparently a genius. Like I scored really high or whatever. Which is why everyone was like, you can't send this kid to public school. Which is why I went to a private school. And also because my parents could afford it, but that's another thing. It's inequality sucks. And that's, I don't know. But I also agree with capitalism. I don't even know at this point. The point is, thank you guys for watching this whole video. It's a long freaking video. I just felt the need to ramble, and I wanted to release a video today. That's my life and my story. It's Rose Mulet. Bye.